AIPP South Australian Professional Photography Awards, and of course that includes Tasmania and the Northern Territory. So we've got some wonderful judges this afternoon, but I'm just going to quickly run through what the commercial category is. So the commercial category is for all images that would ordinarily be commissioned by a business for marketing or editorial use. This includes, but is not limited to, advertising, aerial, architectural, corporate, food, industrial, fashion and sports photography. Image will have been generally been created with a specific brief, often under supervision of an agency or client representative. The subject matter isn't the concern, but rather the purpose for which the photography was created. Entries will be judged with a broad view in the context of a commercial photograph. Entrants into this category may include non-photographic elements used as part of the brief, as long as the image submitted remains substantially photographic in origin. This category will be judged in 3 sections: commissioned, self-commissioned and sports. Although the category is judged in 3 sections to assist the judges in their assessment, there is only one award. And we have on our judging panel, Victoria's looking at me going, you get my last name right or there'll be trouble. Victoria Berwick-Merry, thank you. Mike Connell, Tony Hewitt, Matt Palmer and Clayton Glenn are going to be starting us off. We've got a few other people in the wings ready and waiting to jump in as well. And my name is Melissa Newman, in case you don't know who I am. And I believe we're ready for our first print, please. Hello, print handler? Oh, there they go. And for those of you waiting at home that are considering going to the dinner but have not bought your dinner tickets yet, now is a good time to do so. The tickets are still available online, so jump on and come and join the festivities. That's all right. Yeah, no, that's cool. No problem. Oh, we'll do that next. I haven't changed the names. See the names? Oh, cool. So we can change it. Let's just let this one score first. Yeah. All right, so this print has scored an 82 and is a silver award. We all happy with that? Yep. Okay, so can I just have a blank screen for just a second? I forgot to put the judges' names into the system properly, so give me just a moment. Okay, so we're ready to continue. So can we have our next print, please? That's okay. Print scores 82 and is a silver award. And Tony, you were just around about that score mark. If you could
Yeah,
make a
look,
comment.
strong graphics, awesome use of colour. The spot red, the connection of that drop tap into the shadow, which connects them together. And I love the little byplay between this hydrant and the little tap that's dead centre to anchor the picture.
Excellent. Next print, please. Print scores 83 and is a silver award. Mike, you're on 81. Do you want to make a comment on perhaps how it could have been improved or?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you improve an image that because I think I fully understand it, and this is what absolutely fascinates me about it, and that even though I'm having trouble understanding the context of the image, it's very, very entertaining. So it is talking to me. I believe there is strong narrative in the image, asking questions of me and entertaining me enough for me to hold my attention to ponder the image. And I think that's what the commercial category is all about.
Cool.
In that you need to have visual capture and visual impact, immediate visual impact, and this has it.
Excellent. Thank you. Next print, please. Right, bring that print around, please. Print handlers, thank you. Keep going. There we go. Print scores 83 and is a silver award. Can I get a comment from Victoria while I swap Mike out for Robin, please?
I'm not sure I have much to suggest to improve this image. I see it as a solid award image. It's a fantastic, well-constructed image compositionally. The tonal range is fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Just get Robin set up in our system, and we'll have our next print, please. Yep. David Sievers, can I get you to step in on this one for me, please? Coffee. Print scores 79. And I'm going to keep you there, David Sievers. While I swap you around, though, can I please have a comment from Clayton? He was on 78, just to where that's sitting.
Yeah, I guess as in a commercial category, I sort of feel like a lot of things are under control, and there's sort of a bunch of things I feel like could be sort of improved with talent selection, makeup, sort of fairly across the gamut. But a strong strike, a nice image, and definitely worthy of the 78, 79 for sure.
All right, next print, please. Print scores 82 and is a silver award. Are we all happy with that? Yep. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll get a comment from Robin, please.
Yeah, I really, really love the strength and the composition of this. I love that it's slightly off-centre and it sort of makes you feel skew-if, and then it leads your eye down to the outside world, and I think that's the perspective they're trying to give us. It's not just about the inside, it's the balance of the inside and outside. I think that's what makes it intriguing. I could look at it all day.
Awesome. Uh-oh, I said awesome. Sorry. Next print, please. I think I'm allowed to say it. It's you guys are not allowed to say awesome. Print scores 79. David Sievers, can I get a comment from you for this one, please? No? Would anybody on the panel like to make a comment? Thank you, Tony.
Just quickly, I think it's a little tight on the left and right for me. And also there's a staticness about it, and it just needs a slight little bit more of energy in the model. Not too much, because that's obviously not what this is about. I like the background, but just a bit tight and just a little bit more of a gesture or dynamic to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. So for those of you watching at home, we're in the commercial category of the 2018 AIPP SA Northern Territory Tasmania Awards. This is the commercial category self-commissioned section. Currently our judges are Clayton Glenn, David Sievers, Tony Hewitt, Robin Campbell and Victoria Berwick-Merry. Prince scores 84 and is a silver award. David Sievers, you were right on 84. Would you like, is there anything you can add, or are you drinking your coffee and, oh, no, you're good?
I really like it. So there's nothing much to add other than it's not quite square on. And I just wonder about that blue, whether it could have been changed to sort of contain the image a bit better. Like I feel like it needs to either be lighter or darker, one of those two.
Okay.
So makes it a bit flat.
All right. Next print, please. This print scores 76. Now, it's quite often the prints that don't win the awards that we learn the most from. So, Robin Campbell, perhaps you can give us some words of wisdom.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the technical skill of having the shape of the steam coming just at a certain perspective. Unfortunately, all the elements around the outside aren't sharp. One of the key elements, you really, really need to have them pin sharp in focus to add to the overall feel.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 82 and is a silver award. Who would like to have a word on this one? Robin? Yes, thank you.
I'm sold in the silver at 84. I think it was the tonal range and the use of different textures and how it has been seen that brought me into that very, very solid silver range. The sharpness and attention to detail all the way through. There's a beautiful white patterning that comes through. I think that just adds that extra element of texture to an otherwise really quite beautifully seen landscape.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Print score's 77. Tony Hewitt, can I have a word from you, please?
Good, solid professional practice, bit tight at the bottom. The hand shape at the bottom is probably a little bit sort of not refined enough, and a little bit more backlighting or rim lighting might have just lifted this and given it more dimensionality.
Thank you. Next print, please. Print score 79. I'm going to have a comment from David Sievers, who's on 79. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yes, did you want a challenge? Well, you're in the silver range. Everyone's just below the silver range. Okay, we have a challenge. We're going to talk about it a bit further. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. So we're going to start off with Clayton on 84.
Look, since it turned, it's a very striking image, and I think for the fulfilment of what it's probably been used for, it's really quite, I would imagine, quite outstanding, and I think it's very well, the composition's really well handled, the look from the talent. The artwork that's been done on her, is outstanding. And I think the photographer has used their skill to really enhance that work that's been done on them. And I put it into the silvers. Clearly everyone else thinks it's around the mark. I think if you sort of look at it, if you come away of making that image, you'd be pretty stoked. And I think it's in the silver range myself.
Tony Hewitt, you were lower end.
Yeah, I was on 76, but I was really intrigued as to someone with Clayton's eye might see in this. Compositionally, I found it was unbalanced, but then I started to ask myself after I'd given my score that perhaps in terms of commercial, there's space on the right which allows for some sort of narrative or text in the bottom right or something perhaps. And I was concerned with that bottom right orange area getting quite bright towards the bottom of the frame, kind of pulls my eye away. If that had been dampened down either saturation or brightness wise a little bit, it would have brought me up a little bit higher towards the face and the hair, which is kind of blending into the background. So there were some subtleties, but I really did find the image intriguing, and I kind of wanted to give it a silver. So I'm very interested in what reasons Clayton had for going there.
Robin, you're on 77.
I also really wanted to give this a silver. I'd give the makeup artist a gold award. I think it's absolutely stunning in terms of what they've done there, the point of interest. What held me back from giving it a silver, however, was the flatness of the lighting. You've got this incredible sort of galaxy feel, and there's being from a different planet, and then there's just a plain blue background dropped in behind. If there was lighting that mimicked that, some beautiful specular highlights through her hair, some, fading lighting from the top to the bottom. Orange at the bottom I find very, very distracting. Rework it, put it on a bit different background, go out and shoot the Milky Way and strip that in, and you've got a whole new world of image that will skyrocket way past silver, but where it is at the moment, I'm struggling getting it there.
Clayton, you're right of reply.
Yeah, I've got to disagree pretty strongly on that because I think the photographer's objective is to enhance and portray what they've been briefed to do, and certainly what makeup work's been done. And I think taking it almost anywhere else would be detrimental to the work that's been done on the talent. And just addressing Tony's issues on the positioning. And look, I don't know what the brief was, but for me, it's balanced. So you've got that blue mass balanced by the orange mass, and the fact that it's off centre, which is partly why I think it's got some brave use by the photographer, because they have put it off centre. Now, whether that's for type or whatever, but regardless of that, the colour balances this negative space work against each other, the blue against the orange. And the only thing I can really agree with you is that, you know, probably it just goes a bit light at the bottom of the image. But if that's all we've got to really bag it over, it seems a bit harsh to leave it in the, you know, good professional practice and encourage you to think about pushing it up into the silvers.
All right, so it's going to hold his score at 84, and everybody else is going to rescore, please. Have you pressed the go button, David? Oh, you have. Excellent. And that's how you get a 79 to an 82 silver award. Well done. Okay. Can I just have a blank screen for just a moment while I change a couple of judges? I'm going to change a David for a David. And Victoria, I'm going to give you some time off. And Sam, if you can come back in, please. All right, if we could have our next print, please. Print scores 76. David Evans, can I have you speak? Yep.
Yeah. Gosh, I just find that particularly the body shape of the model is a bit incongruent with the dynamic thing that's going on, I suppose, and it almost looks like a test shot before the actual shot to me. Keep working on the concept, but it needs a bit more.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Do you have your dinner tickets yet, everybody? If you don't, you should get online and join us at, where is it? The Adelaide Pavilion. 4-hour drinks package and 3-course meal. There you go. Beer, wine, soft drink and cider. Okay, this print scores 75. Robin, you're on 72. Can you perhaps give us a bit of an idea of where this could be improved or why it's actually sitting in that zone?
Yeah, I'm in the 72 range, which is in the lower end of professional practice. I believe it's been competently captured. For me, it's lacking communication. I'm not sure exactly what it is that it's trying to tell me, other than documenting what it is. So in order to go to that next level for me, I'd need an element of communication of what this story is about and what they're trying to say.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll have our next print, please. $99 for the dinner tickets. And there's also a photo booth. And a what? And apparently Karen has picked out a very delicious menu. Oh, thank you to Deb. So if you don't like the food, that's who you complain to. But you won't, because it'll be awesome. Is that word again, awesome? It's going to be awesome. Dinner's going to be awesome. On our judging panel at the moment, we have Clayton Glenn, David Evans, Tony Hewitt, Robin Campbell and Sam Roberts. Right, the print scores 77. And David Evans is going to challenge that on 82. So go for it, David.
Okay. I believe this should be a silver. It's not a highly polished image, and I think that's the point. The choice of the dirty laneway and there's lots of bits and pieces, and the lighting has been chosen to match that, shooting directly into the strobes and also flaring the sun. I think it's all quite deliberate, and having the angles, angled in quite a lot with the low viewpoint really accentuates what's going on here with the jump and the strong legs and so on. So I think it's like a imperfect kind of creation that's been done deliberately that way to accentuate almost the perfection of the dancer with these surrounding stuff. And I think it's definitely worthy of a silver.
Tony, you've been up to have another good look at it.
Yeah, I can accept everything you've said. I'm just not sure that it worked as well as for me as it did for you. I find some patchiness in the tonal qualities of the skin because of lighting and things. I think some of the flaring, coming under the armpit is a bit distracting. And I'm not sure those strobes in the bottom actually work for me. I can see that they balance that top flare of the sun, but I think it's a really cool idea that's maybe slightly overlit and not quite there, but a good idea, and that's why I put it smack in the middle of professional practice.
And Sam, please.
There's a few things that concern me. The placement of the Stobie pole's a little bit awkward, and I think sometimes lens flares can really add to the image, but here I think the lens flares are just for me it just looks like a bit of a shielding from that light. I don't think the lens flares really add to this image, they distract.
All right. David Evans, your right of reply.
Yeah, look, I think this is just the case of sometimes when you like an image, you're going to see positive things, and if you just instinctively don't like it, you're going to see the negative things, and I think we need to accept that.
Okay. With that being said, David's going to hold his score on 82, and everybody else will please rescore. I think that's the quote for the day so far. And we'll wait for technology to catch up with us. I'm going to put 20 more cents in the machine over there. Sam, have you put yours in? Excellent. Well, we did go up a point to 78. All right, next print, please. $84 by majority. So it is a silver award. Sam, you actually gave it that 84. What would have taken, is there something that could have taken you over the line?
What I love about the image is I don't quite know what it is. So without knowing what it is, how could you improve it? I wouldn't mind seeing some of the outer rim glass things, in some areas having a little bit more separation, a little bit more considered to lighting, but without knowing what it is, it's hard to sort of give any suggestions. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Was there anybody else that wanted to say anything about this image? No? We're all good? Tony?
Quickly I think it's a chandelier, could be wrong. Love the colour, love the abstract. A little bit more room, top and bottom, might have made this a bit stronger. Could work as a square. But
Oh, squares are good, aren't they? Love squares. Okay. Next print. Print scores 81, silver. Robin, you were on 82. Can I have some words from you, please?
Yeah, I actually really love the colour palette throughout this and the subtleties through the greens. Greens generally can be quite a jarring colour, but I believe that photographers got just the right tone here, and the perfection in the symmetry is just outstanding. That's why, in my opinion, it's silver.
Awesome. I did it again. I said awesome again. Next print, please. This print scores 81 and is a silver award. I'd like a comment. Tony, yes.
I was at the higher end, I know, but this has been printed exquisitely. It has just got such beautiful detail, but it still needs to be communication, particularly in commercial. So we're looking for that commercial application, and it can't necessarily or only be decorative, you know. So I think that's where you need to think about these things. I can see this working in a few categories, but it is exquisitely printed. But again, commercial category, where do we see the commercial application? Does anyone else feel like that? No? Whatever.
Yep. Okay. We'll go to our next print, please. And for those of you watching at home, now that you can, we're in the commercial self-commissioned category for the AIPP South Australian Northern Territory Tasmanian Awards for 2018. I want to thank all of those people who have actually managed to get us back up on live stream after a technical difficulty involving a router in Singapore, I believe. And there ain't much we can do about that from Adelaide. So thanks to all of our team that have managed to help us get back up and running today. Can't help having these issues sometimes. Print by majority scores 85 and is a silver distinction. Now, David Evans, you were right on 85. Tell us a little bit about why this is an 85.
This would have been an easy print to really screw up, I think, and that it's been handled really well. There's just so many textures within those boards or whatever they are that a lot of attention would need to be paid with the printing, and it has been. It's been beautifully printed, and also just with the printing up and printing down that leads us up to the top. So first of all to the point of highest contrast, and then right up to the light area at the top. I think it's been really well done.
Excellent. Thank you very much for those comments, David. Next print, please. You don't know how many times you say awesome in a day until you're told not to say awesome so much. Yep. Print scores 79. And I'm going to ask for a comment from Robin on 78.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very high professional practice. I do question the placement of the object in the foreground and the choice to include that, because I actually find those two little eyes sitting there quite distracting. There's a lusciousness coming from the sunset in the background, and I think if that was more the focus, you'd have a significantly more dynamic image.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. For those of you that didn't see the judging this morning because of the technical issues, they are working on getting some video footage up a bit later on. We did thankfully have Nikon here with all their gear that we just happened to be able to grab and get set up. So it has all been recorded and it will be going up onto YouTube at some stage. I think it's YouTube it's going up onto, but we will keep you posted on that. All right, this print scores 82 and is a silver award. This is one of those examples where all judges were in the silver range pretty well solidly. So would any of you like to speak about this print for me, please? Sam, thank you.
Just a comment, I just never have seen a stack of chairs being given personality before. Kudos.
Isn't it amazing sometimes you get to see the world differently when we get something presented like this? It really does make you think about things. All right, thank you very much. Next print, please. I'm not judging. Print scores 77. Tony, you're right on 77. Can I have some words from you, please?
Professional practice, just maybe the black it's almost cut out too much. I just like a little bit more definite separation, I think. But solid professional practice.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll go to our next print, please. Print score by majority is 79. Tony or Robin, both of you were on 78. Robin, thank you.
Yeah, the image on the left, there's a beautiful depth and tonal range and texture within that. But unfortunately, I think by inverting it to the image on the right, you sort of lose all of that subtlety and it becomes a graphic image. The colour palette is just a little too jarring, in my opinion. Keep working on the image on the left. I think there's something really interesting in there.
Excellent comments. We'll have our next print, please. Print scores 85 and is a silver distinction. Tony, on 88, what makes this a silver distinction?
It's graphically awesome. No, look, commercial category. This is an beautifully designed graphic, no question. The colour impact is obvious. So the minute it comes around, it grabs you with colour. So commercial application, I see the mine site at the top, and I think to myself, if I was owning this mine or this whatever it is, these tailing dams, what a great way to sort of put a little bit of a spin that we're not dirty and dark and dungy and toxic. We're kind of pretty and, you know, soft and like a nice LED light window. So I kind of see the application that would be a positive for that company, and it grabs you. It's quite visually intriguing. Yeah.
Awesome. I did it again.
That was too long.
Excellent. Thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 84 and is a silver award. Sam, can I have a comment from you, please?
I think if the skin tones were just given a little bit more care, or put a heater on in the studio, I think that would, give it more legs. It's a very creative, playful image. Love it.
Thank you very much. We'll go to our next print, please. Print scores 80 and is a silver award. David Evans, you were right on the 80 mark. Comments from you, please.
I admit I'd struggled with this one and ended up just going with the fact that I was feeling positive feelings about it. And the reason why I struggled was because the different treatments, top and bottom, and I kept coming back to the middle, and I thought, well, if this is an ad for belts, then it's perfect. And so I'm assuming it's an ad for belts, and I like it.
All right. Thank you very much, I think. Next print, please. So if you've just joined us, you're watching the self-commissioned commercial category for the Northern Territory, Tasmania and South Australian Professional Photography Awards 2018. I'm Elle Newman. Our judges at the moment are Clayton Glenn, David Evans, Tony Hewitt, Robin Campbell and Sam Roberts. Print scores 77 and all of our judges were around 77, 78. So I'd like a comment from one of you, please. Sam, thank you.
I feel as if the sky is too bright. If there was more light on the talent, that would be one improvement that would get me to reconsider it a lot more.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. When we get to there. It's probably more information than I needed, but thank you. This print scores 79. 79 is a popular number today, and unfortunately 79s don't go to the next room for review. So I'm going to ask Robin Campbell, who's on 78, to comment, please.
Yeah, the gritty colour palette in this image. I am struggling though with the balance. It's sort of like it's almost as if it's two images. Take the top half, take the bottom half, and you've got two strong images that balance with their symmetry. But I just find as a complete image, the balance isn't quite there.
Okay, I'm just going to be swapping David Evans for David Sievers. Keeps it easy that way. Keep it simple. And we'll have our next print, please. All right, so print has scored 85 and is a silver distinction. Yes, we're happy with that. And Robin, I didn't think was going to be happy with that, because very rarely do you go into the 90s without and then be happy with something going to silver distinction. So, Robin, obviously there's a couple of people with you because it did get a silver distinction. You're on 92, and it's not an automatic challenge or anything like that, so you do have a right of reply because this is you're challenging it. So let's do it.
I'm really excited about this image. The minute it turned around, I went, oh, steam train. Oh, hang on, that's not a steam train. What is this industrialisation? And why is it so darn beautiful? Because you get in there and it's dirty, it's grotty, it's an industry. There's pipes going everywhere, there's bits and pieces, but somehow the photographers managed to remove themselves from that and turned it into this industrial piece of art. There's so much in there to enjoy, and right through to the very back left-hand side, you actually see a few trees popping in that remind you of, hang on, this is an urban landscape. This is not just industry. This is our environment that we're living in. I'm in the gold range because it's a serious talent to be able to get something as ugly and ordinary as this and turn it into what I believe is a beautiful piece of art. A lot of that, I think, is attributed to the time of day that it's been shot. Very, very late in the evening, I'm assuming. You've got those beautiful glows that are coming off all the little tiny bits of light in there, and the steam that washes through it as well. You've got movement. I would hang this on my wall, and it's extraordinary to think that of a piece of rather ugly industry. So, yeah, yay the photographer, nice work.
All right, Sam, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to win or lose some friends here. I was 78. I think it's fantastic, exemplary professional practice, but for me, I feel as if the photographer's just recorded something. I don't feel that they've done anything super special to it, and I think they've just been fortunate enough that the architecture of that scene is what makes it. There's a lot of detail there, but it doesn't have a wow factor to me, unfortunately.
Tony Hewitt, you're on 88.
Thanks, Sam. You just tipped me into gold. I don't mean that respectfully, because you made me question again, or look again for the photographer's hand, and it's not just taking a shot of something, because when we look at it, the composition is critical to the balance in this image. When you first see this image, you see the cloud around the chimney at the middle, which anchors the whole photo, and the cloud is blowing to the left, which kind of pushes us around. There's a little dark bit of cloud that comes down to the trees, and as we go, I'm looking for lines of lines to lead me. And that darker part of that sky leads me to that white pipe, which takes me down. And I start to feel this movement that I'm taking around. And as I go along the bottom and start reading left to right, which is normal, I pick up that white pipe, which does a sudden bend to the top, comes in a bit, and then I see that next cloud that's blowing strongly to the left. And that has a nice arc, which brings me back to where I started. If I cut halfway along the bottom and decide to go up one of those pipes, there's more smoke. So what I'm getting at is this vision of seeing the smoke moving us to the left, and the composition left and right, and where they've chosen to begin the story and end the story actually create a really beautifully well-balanced picture. And that semblance of graphic design and the awesome use of graphic design has actually allowed us to see something that is beautiful, and allows us to settle on the textures and all these little stories that inside the big story. And that takes superior vision and superior compositional skills, etc., to actually get that right, because you don't have to go far left or right, and you would have lost that. So I actually see the excellence in this that would give me the reasons to go higher from 88.
All right, so we are talking about gold. If either of our other two judges would like to speak, they're welcome to. David Sievers.
Look, I thought, I gave it 87. I thought it was a really strong print. But yeah, look, just beautiful movement. I love it. There's a couple of little things that annoyed me that I thought could have been touched out, like that little snippet of a tree hanging out on the left, because you've got all these lines taking you on this movement. But that was the only reason I came down a little bit. I'll come up a little bit, but yeah, I think they should be congratulated. I don't think that the movement in the steam or the exhaust or whatever that is a happy accident. I think they've selected a shutter speed specific to a required or their desired result. So in that case, I love it.
All right, Clayton, you wanted to say something as well?
You talked me into it, Tony. I'm going to leave you out to dry, Sam. I was down at 78 too, but you've convinced me that it's a powerful image. Thank you.
Well, Robin, you've got a right of reply, but I don't know whether you're going to need it that much.
Oh, that's all right. Well, look, the more I look at it, the more I'm actually enjoying it, and I thought I already was in love with it. I squint my eyes, and there's an incredible pareidolia. You think that you're back in, London industrialisation. You can almost see an entire town there with the chapels, and it's really quite extraordinary how much you can see into this. We're talking commercial photography, and the skill that has completed this to perfection is gold level. Awesome. I did it again. Robin, you're going to be holding your score at 92 and everybody else is going to be rescoring, please. Excellent. By majority, it is a 90 and a gold award. That's teamwork. All right. Next print, please. So here we are at the AIPP, Northern Territory, Tasmanian, South Australian Photography Awards, sponsored by Epson, 2018. This is the commercial self-commissioned section. And this print scores an 82 and is a silver award. We have the ability for somebody to challenge if they wish to. No, we're happy. Okay, it looks like all the judges are happy with the silver award, so it is a silver award. Can I perhaps have a comment, though, from Tony, who was right on 82?
Yeah, I just think compositionally this is quite complicated, and yet it's been beautifully handled. Beautifully handled composition.
Excellent, thank you. Next print, please. So there are dinner tickets left. I know I've said it before. It's dinner, drinks package, good food, good company, photo booth. Crash for next year noted. There are plenty of newborn and family photographers going. If you want to take the small child, you could. But tickets are still available online. Print scores 81, silver award. Clayton, can I give you some words on this one, please? You were around about that sort of in that silver range. Is there anything that could be done to improve this print, or is this pretty much where it sits?
I just thought it was very well handled, and look, I'm struggling to give a real hero comment that could make a significant difference, but I think they've used simple elements to build up a really quite complex image, and it's worked really well.
Beautiful, thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 79. It's the number of the day. This is a fairly clear 79 too, because we've got 4 judges in 78. So can I just get a comment from somebody, please? Sam, thank you.
The little elements on the left-hand side I don't think need to be there, and I think if the crop was justified a little bit more to the right to bring that central open area into a third line or nearer to, I think that might give it some asymmetric strength.
Excellent. We've got lots of nodding going on there, so everybody else is agreeing with that. Next print, please. Print scores 81 and is a silver award. Do you want a challenge? Okay, and everybody's happy with that score. Can I just have a blank screen, please, while I just do a few... Oh, sorry, just keep the print there. I'll get a comment while I change some judges around. How about if I do that? Maybe I should start drinking coffee, I think. So it was scored an 81. Robin, you're on 83. I'll get a comment from you, please.
Yeah, I've never really had any desire to go to Abu Dhabi or any of those sorts of places until now. If I could stay in something as funky as that but have the beach that I can feel at my feet, I'm pretty much sold, and that's why I'm in the silver range, because to me, it's sold me on this as a travel destination. I think it's absolutely stunning.
Okay, I'm just going to do a couple of job swaps around with judges. So Mike Connell's just coming in for Clayton. And hang on 2 seconds. This technology stuff is tough some days. There we go. And we'll go for our... we're going into our next set of prints, which is the sport category. All right. So next print, please. Print scores 78. David Severs, you were on 78. Can I have a comment from you, please?
Sure. It's a nice professional shot, and but yeah, a few things that let it down is the tonality of the sky is almost matching his helmet. To give him some definition, you kind of miss it there, and but yeah, look, it's a lovely professional shot, but I don't think it's beyond that.
All right. I'm just going to accept this print. And Sam, can I swap you, please, for Matt Palmer? Yeah, Matt's here. Good. Excellent. And we'll have our next print, please. David Sievers, have you put your score in yet? It's just sitting there right now. I've got nothing coming through for you. There we go. Print score 78. I'd like a comment from Robin, please.
Yeah, it's definitely the decisive moment. The action's happening. Stadium lighting's really, really hard to shoot under. So 5 years of roller derby photography taught me to bring an external flash, pop it in the side, and all of a sudden you've got beautiful highlights that add a little bit of depth to the image. That would certainly bring this somewhat higher.
All right, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print score's 77. Are we happy with that? No, Mike's not happy with that. Mike's going to challenge it on 83. So, Mike, we've got everybody's in the 70 range. You're on 83, so off you go.
I think it's because we don't clearly know what's happened, but we know that something has happened, and we can feel the empathy, we should feel the empathy for this athlete by the wincing in their eyes. And the eye contact for the athlete is contained by the triangulation of that forearm and the dynamic range of the exposure in which that area has been captured. Having experienced that part of the field of the image, have a look at the tension in the background. Some of the viewers are standing, they're lifting out of their seats. They have understood, or they are understanding, what's happened out there. And although the background is dark, it's moody, in some ways it's foreboding, I don't think we are expected to understand the tension back there, but we are to believe there is tension and empathy, despondency, concern in the crowd in the background. And I like the depth of the image as well. It's just don't use dark and foreground. We wouldn't really call it vignetting. It's not super heavy. It's great. And there is absolute, to me, contact with the absolute centre of interest of this image. I would commend it very highly, and I would ask my fellow judges to consider their vote, because the editorial comment from this image is very high.
Okay, Matt, please.
I scored it in the kind of high professional standard, and I feel that's kind of where it sits. When you were describing the positives about the photograph, you mentioned the wincing expression on the face, and I have to agree with that. Although unfortunately, I feel like the focus has landed on the elbow or perhaps the hand, possibly because they weren't directing the camera enough to focus on the face in that moment. And I feel like in those moments of defeat, there is actually a bit of time to get that kind of thing right and make sure you've got that frame in camera.
Robin?
Yeah, I'm fairly low in the professional practice range. simply because I'm really struggling to understand what it is that happened, even what sport. I'm assuming it's some kind of mixed martial arts or something along those lines. The expression in his face is really quite intense, and as far as you're documenting sport, you want those emotions, you want that intensity. So without a doubt, it's hit it for me. Struggling to get it in silver range, some print quality muddiness issues, but I'm definitely listening, and I'm glad that we had a chance to chat about it. So thanks for challenging, Mike.
Mike, your right of reply.
I don't think we have to worry too much about what sport is here, because there would be either body copy or a caption associating this image, because no doubt it would be used in press or in magazine in some way, going by the category. So I just like the other judges to concentrate on the expression on the face, and whether or not we have time to adjust the focus or concentrating on that right. I'm not quite sure, but wincing, I don't think this athlete would hold that expression for the photographer. The photographer has to accommodate the athlete.
All right. With that said, Mike will hold his score at 83 and everybody else will rescore, please. Score 79. Now in a nationals that would have gone up into a review. So a couple of points up there. Thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 80 and is a silver award. Can I have a comment from one of the judges, please? David Sievers, thank you.
Just a quick one. The gap between the legs on the field. It looks. I'll just clean that up a little bit, because your eye goes straight to it, because it's sort of nicely framed. But yeah, good expression on the face.
All right, I'm just going to hold that print there for a minute while we do a bit of a judge shuffle. Victoria, can I have you come in for David Sievers? And can I have Mike? I'm going to get you replaced with Sam, please. David Sam, yes. I was going to say David, but I was sending David off. I'm easily confused these days. I'm getting old. Swap them all around. All right, next print, please. So for those of you who don't know, we have Sam Roberts on the panel. We have Victoria Berwick-Merry. We have Tony Hewitt. We have Robin Campbell. We have Matt Palmer. And I'm Melissa Newman, and you're watching the commercial category sports section. Okay, this print scores 73. Matt, can I get a comment from you, please?
Yeah, it's a good professional photograph. I'd just say you've got to try and nail that sharpness, which is obviously difficult. and also maybe a little bit more space around the heads and that kind of thing. When I'm shooting sports, I like to shoot a little bit wider than what I need so that I can crop in if I miss something in terms of movement.
Yep, with those sports, you just never know which direction they're going to go sometimes. Okay, next print, please. Print scores 82. There's a silver award. That's pretty much across the almost all the judges there in the silver range. Tony, can I have a comment from you, please?
Nice composition, and I love the fact that we get a sense of place. We can actually sense where they've come from and where they're going. So, yeah, well done.
Great. Next print, please. Print scores 76. Comment, please, from Matt.
I would just suggest to the author, they do have some kicker lights in there to separate from the background, but if they were positioned a little bit higher, then they could get behind the hair as well. And also just a little bit of cleanup work where you've got the flour or whatever, the powder, you can kind of see where there was flaw there as well.
All right. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 77. Sam, you were right on 77. Can I get a comment from you, please?
I wouldn't have had him going downhill when he's on a flat bit of ground. Myself, I don't think that tilt really adds to it. Myself, that's one piece of advice I might give, which might get me to rethink the image. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 81. Silver award. Victoria, you were right on 81. Some words from you, please.
I think just the sharpness in the face was a little, not quite there enough to bring me up higher, but that was the only improvement.
Yep, there was lots of nods there. Thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 76. Matt, comment from you, please.
To the offer, I'll just see if you've got the file with a bit more highlight detail in the waves, and also look at other paper choices as well, so you
Okay.
can retain that detail.
Great. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 77, pretty much across the board. Comment from Matt, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess for me, I just wanted a little bit more because I know that this is a shot, or making an assumption that it's set up, or it has a capacity to be set up, and therefore you can repeat this action. So I'd be looking at, you could take this into a studio, you could look at different backgrounds or environments in which to photograph this in that might contribute a little bit more.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print score 79. Tony, you were actually just up in that silver range. Can I have a comment from you, please?
Yeah, there's a technical quality in this that makes me think it might have been shot on a small format, but it didn't bother me at all. Just a good composition, good timing, and we go straight to the moment, which is really good.
Great. Next print, please. Print scores 82, silver award. Who should I get a comment from? Who's a boat person? No boat people? Robin, go for it.
I'm really enjoying the perspective of this. I'm really enjoying actually looking down and feeling like I'm part of that crew. I can almost go through and see what each individual's position is and so forth. I seriously hope they don't tact for the poor guy stuck in the middle attached to the sail, because he's going to go flying. Loving and enjoying the unique perspective on sailing.
All right, thank you. Next print, please. Print score 79. There's a couple of people on 78. Sam, can I get a comment from you, please?
Thank you. A little bit more headroom would be lovely. Thank you.
That's what I like. To the point. Next print, please. I sometimes give my panel chair a bit of a nudge, but they're doing wonderful jobs. It's not easy being a panel chair next to me because I keep elbowing her. It's okay. Okay, I slapped you once as well, but that's okay. The things that happen when we press wrong buttons. Poor Karen. Sorry. I publicly apologise right now to any injuries that I may have done to this arm from slapping and things. So. Okay, this print scores 81, silver award. Most of our judges are in the silver range there. Tony, haven't heard from you for a while.
It's not such a bad thing. I think it's a great capture of seeing cricketers doing their thing and zoning out while there's this cacophony of chaos going on behind them in a cricket match, obviously in India or something like that.
Okay. Next print, please. Print scores 83 and is a silver award. Victoria, you were right on. No, you don't want to make a comment. No, Tony does. Tony wants to make a comment.
No, just great moment. You know, documentary or is about moment, or commercial is about moment. This is kind of in that bracket. So great moment.
That decisive moment.
The pinnacle of energy and.
Awesome. Thank you. Next print, please. Oh, hang on. That's the end of the category. So, can we go to a blank screen, please? Thank you. So, I just have to get some direction on what's happening as far as the next category, because I believe we have nature, but...
We've got all of commercial commission to go.
Oh, there's commercial commission to go. How did I manage to miss that? I'm going to have to start drinking coffee. We will give you all a 2-minute break to do whatever you need to do. Have a stretch. So how many prints we got left in commercial?
A whole bunch.
I have to be gone by 6 at the very latest. I've got to pick a daughter up at 6:30. We've only got one car.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be able to take over panel chairing.
All right.
I just don't want to be doing
Commercial.
so
That makes sense.
might have gone through.
Right. Cool. All right. No worries. All right, I think we might get our judges back in the judges' seats and ready to rock and roll. So we'll keep Sam and we'll keep Victoria and we'll keep Robin and we'll keep Matt. Yeah, you can stay. If you're happy to do so. Awesome. No worries. That's cool. David Stevens, I might put you in the middle just to get started so that we can actually get started on the commercial category. Have we got everything ready at the back, people? You are. Let me just change the names around here for just a minute. Oh, there's so many Davids in the system. There we go. All right, so we're bit of quiet, everybody. We're going to get started on the commissioned commercial work next. And on the panel at the moment, we've got Sam Roberts, Victoria Berwick-Merry, David Sievers, Robin Campbell, and Matt Palmer. Is everybody in the back of the judging system ready to go? Okay. Are we good? We're all good to go? Okay. It takes an absolute army to get these awards up and running. So we want to thank all of our wonderful volunteers that actually make it all happen. Yay! All right. Let's have our next print, please. This is commissioned. Yep. So we're in the commissioned commercial category for the AIPP Tasmanian, Northern Territory and South Australian Awards, sponsored by our wonderful friends at Epson. Can't live without my Epson printer. Print scores by majority is 79. Comment from Matt.
Yeah, I liked the photograph and felt it was high professional standard. I just felt like the the editing of it had applied itself to the product a little bit too much, so that the product itself was kind of disfigured by the approach to the whole photograph. If that makes sense, hopefully.
All right. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 80, Silver Award. Comment from Robin.
Yeah, I think the aesthetics here are very, very strong, and certainly there's a lovely line going throughout. Perhaps more strength in the individual walking through the image would add a bit more punch.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Silver distinction, 85. Who would like to make a comment on this one? Robin.
Yeah, I instantly fell in love with this. I kept finding, though, I just wanted more at the bottom and less at the top, and the balance was just a little bit out. Otherwise, I would have been probably close to gold. To have something so industrial made into something so beautiful with the lines and patterns, it's really quite extraordinary. But yeah, less of the top, more of the bottom, bit more balance, and yeah, you're there.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 77. Robin, you're on 77.
Love the colour palette and the really, really neutral tones and the sort of parody of the guy, putting the bikini pose on. Generally shooting fashion, long lens, f2.8, get the background right out of focus, and a little bit more perspective would bring it up as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. By majority, this scores a 79. David Severs, you were actually on 79. Can you give us some comments, please?
Look, it's just good professional practice. I'm not sure that anything was added to it. The composition's nice, but I know that we're not supposed to compare images, but whereas the other one, I think the photographer added to it. This one, it's kind of all the work of what's presented in front of them rather than them looking for a different point of view type thing.
It is what it is. Okay. Thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 77. Robin, can I have a comment from you on this one, please?
Yeah, I love the capture of the decisive moment with the movement mid-air. Nice use of highlight light. However, it's really very distracting coming in from the right-hand side. So, yeah, clean up your lighting and straighten up your background because it's a really, really cool location. And, yeah, show us more.
It is a cool location. All right, next print, please. Print scores 84 and is a silver award. Victoria, you're right on 84.
I love this pose, the striking glance. I would have come up higher if there was catchlight in the eyes. Yeah.
Yep, excellent. Thank you. Next print, please. Print scores and 83, silver award. Sam, you're on 83. Can I have some comments from you, please?
Show the familiar from a different perspective,
Okay.
which the photographer's done.
Excellent. Thank you. Next print, please. By majority, this print scores 79. Matt, comment from you, please. Oh, sorry. Hang on a sec. Before I do that, is everybody happy with that score? Are you challenging or not? You have hit the challenge. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure what was going on there for a second, but yes, we're going to have a challenge from Sam Roberts on 84.
There's wonderful control in the face, the lighting on the face. I'm assuming it might be a performance still for a promo piece, and I think the director would be very happy with the moment that's being captured in that it gives a level of intrigue. There's fantastic detail in the shadows, but for me, I think there's simple elements, but it asks a lot of questions and answers more. It asks more than answers questions, and for me, I think as a promotional piece for a piece of live theatre, assuming that's what it is, I think they've done an excellent job.
I was going to ask Robin to comment, but she's jumped up to have a look at the print. No, it's okay. Robin's back. Okay, so I'll get you to make a comment, please.
Yeah, I was really torn because I love the drama and the lighting and the highlights down the side of his face. I think as a piece of visual art, it works incredibly well, but I'm really stuck on the visual communication and that I can't figure out really what he's doing. My perspective was actually he's the lawn keeper. You know, he's trying to get the grass exactly perfect. You're in an open, there's the highway with the car going past in the background. So I had quite a different take on exactly what it was, and I think it was just the lack of knowing what it was and communicating a story that I struggled with. But I am listening because it's photographically quite intriguing.
David Severs, you were on 80. Do you have anything to add?
Look, it's different. I struggled because I didn't know what it was, but I actually still gave it silver because I thought it's just it's a lovely image. Like it's quite graphic, and it's a bit captivating, kind of like Sam said. So
all right, Sam, your right of reply.
I don't know, kind of could be a fruit picker or veg picker.
I think that we've done our job in that people are looking at it now with fresh eyes, and if something gets you to look at it with a sense of intrigue and still have questions unanswered, with a strong position of that figure there, well done.
All right, so the print's currently sitting on 79. Sam will hold his score of 84, and the rest of you will rescore. And print gets 81, silver award. That's one way to fix those pesky 79s, isn't it? I'm going to get Robin Campbell to step off. Tony, if you can come back on for me, please, that would be great. I'll just change my job judges around here. All right. Next print, please. What was that pesky 79 again? 79 by majority. Comment, please, from Victoria. No? Yes? Maybe? Yes? No? Yes?
I'm a little distracted by the highlight on part of the skin above the hand, and the shadows are a little bit lost for me.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 77. David Severs, no? You're going to make a comment, though, because you stretched your hand out and it looked like you wanted to make a comment. So now you're making a comment. Thank you.
Look, I like the shadow, but yeah, look, it's a nice image, but you know, I think it's just you look straight at the whites of the eyes of the female on the left, and that kind of I kept getting drawn back to that, unfortunately.
All right. Excellent. In being on a judging panel is a bit like being at an auction. If you even move when comments are required, you can sometimes get called upon. So, all right. Next print, please. Print scores 84 and is a silver award. Who would like to make a comment on this one? Nobody's moving. Tony, thank you.
I like the That's what I'm looking for. Bringing it back to an abstraction, and it's unique. It's a view that you don't often get to see of a plane because, although they're obviously above us, they're generally way above us, and you're not allowed that close. So, with the undercarriage up, is quite unique, and I find it very intriguing and informative.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Yes, you can. Clayton, can you come in to judge this one for me, please? Print scores 84 and is a silver award. Anyone want to make a comment on this one for me, please? Maybe Matt. Thanks.
Well, obviously, the judges liked it, and I also liked it and gave it a silver award. I just felt like there was a little bit of lacking in communication as to what it's trying to sell or promote, and I also felt like with all the treatments and elements that have been put in there, it was kind of like just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing how much would stick, and then, okay, we finally got the photograph. So I just question the intention of all the different elements, I guess.
All right, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 83 and is a silver award. Tony, yes, please.
Take the character out of that, and it's a very good, strong black and white, good, strong graphics, great leading lines, great detail in the blacks. The figures probably let this picture down a little. I'd love to have seen it in a suit, but the brief may not have allowed for that. But a little lower or a different placement of the person closer so that white line's not through their head probably would have made it a little stronger.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 77. Can I have a comment, please, from Matt?
I would just say to the artist, perhaps tweak your lighting a little bit. I feel like this is there to sell either, well, the dress probably, and possibly the shoes, and just to get a bit more light on that dress. And it almost feels like the light drop off towards the legs just feels a little bit too unnatural.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 78. Sam, thank you.
The photographer may not have had the option with the lensing and trying to get the figures at the bottom and the performer at the top. But I feel as if the performer at the top's the hero of the image, and there's not enough space around them at the top. Bit of sharpness as well, but especially the cropping. If they've got more information there, include it.
All right, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print by majority scores 84 and is a silver award. There's a couple of people that really liked this print, so perhaps if we can have a couple of comments here as to if somebody can tell us how it might be improved for... Yep, Matt, thank you.
The other judges may disagree with me, but I found I understand that there's glitching and, there's lots of squares and rectangles going on, but the one on the arm that's kind of black kind of throws me a little bit. So I feel like if that was treated a little bit differently, it can still be a glitch, but if it just wasn't that solid black that went into the arm, I feel like that silhouette would be a little bit stronger.
Anyone else got a comment? Yep, Tony?
Yeah, didn't bother me, but I can see it could bother. To me, this is just a really strong narrative around lost identity in a digital world. I think it's a really powerful piece of communication.
All right, thank you very much. Next print, please. Print scores 79. David Sievers, you gave it 79. Can you see a way that it could be improved, or is that just where it needs to sit?
I just think it sits there perfectly. That's why I gave it that score. I mean, I don't like scoring things 79, but sometimes it's a 79. So, to improve, yeah, look, the arms just look a little bit muddy. But yeah, the hair in the top section is very stringy and sort of a strong thing. If it had some body to it, I think it would be a little bit more... wouldn't draw your eye up to that top of the frame.
All right, thank you. Next print, please. Print scores 79. And I'll get a comment from Matt, please. Oh, sorry, Matt's just taken a big mouthful of Loise. Tony, yes, thank you.
I find the composition's not as strong as it could be. It actually weakens the image content. So perhaps have a rethink around how you've composed it.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll go to a blank screen because that... Oh, no, hang on, it's still going. Oh, no, that's all right. That was the end of it. Sometimes you look at these screens, it's saying, it's coming up again, but it's because we're going to the next set. So that was the last of the commissioned commercial category, and that's the commercial category over and done with for this year. Now, judges, please, no matter what, do not leave the premises because we've got lots of other things to do. We will be getting into nature in here shortly, but judges from any of the categories, if they can please stick around because we're going to be having to do PPYs and things of that nature a bit later on. If you have to leave for any reason, please talk to Mark Z or Sue Laws first before actually disappearing. Otherwise, you might get a phone call and you might have to come back. Thanks again to all of our wonderful volunteers that have been doing a wonderful job behind the scenes under some very trying circumstances today. For those of you that are not aware, this morning we had some major technical glitches, which meant that we couldn't get live stream up and running for the first couple of hours. We have recorded everything thanks to Nikon, and everybody's been very patient with us. We're now back up and running, thankfully, but those video recordings will be put up online. So yes, we'll be having about a 5-minute break in this room, and then we'll be back at the Epson sponsored AIPP Northern Territory, Tasmanian and South Australian Awards doing the nature